Well, guys, so, I couldn't smell anything and my crock pot was getting hot, so I was like, well, maybe it is actually broken. Okay, and what I did is I ordered some stuff off of eBay. But then, as I was getting ready to put this in my other pot, I was like, you know what? I have actually never used this outlet before, ever. Like, maybe it doesn't even work, because the electrical in my house wasn't finished all the way yet. Because there's a lot of DIY, so I was like, you know what, I should at least, so I hooked up the water kettle, the electric water kettle in, and it doesn't work. There's no electricity to that plug. So look how much time I wasted up. Okay. So anyways, I just ran an extension cord, and now I'm gonna take this pot. Actually, no, it is heating up. I can feel it's heating up, so that's good. Because I was gonna say, I would be surprised if it was actually broken, because my old crock pot I had forever and ever and ever, that was my mom's crock pot, and I'm pretty sure it still works. It's just on the other side of the country right now. Okay, so it's heating up, but what I decided is, then again, this has the beef stroganoff in it. I still have to go pick up some cream cheese. Okay, my Worcestershire sauce. I looked at it, the bottle, the one that I have in there, it says it expired 2019, but I'm gonna roll with it, guys. Okay. So part of the reason why I am kind of doing something and actually spending like a good bit of money on some food is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some freezer meals for myself to pack into Tupperwares that I can microwave. So I'm going to make some microwave meals, and then also I have two widower neighbors, and one of them is the one who brought me a whole bunch of free fruit. So I'm just wanting to make a couple of, pack up a couple of meals to share with him as well. Just kind of as a thanks, because, his wife is gone and I'm not really sure that he's cooking over there. But, while I was ordering myself another crock pot, and part of the reason why I decided I wanted another one anyways, is this is one of the smaller crock pots, and I wanted one that is big enough to fit not just a whole chicken in to roast, but also like a whole duck or half of a goose. So I ordered one of the 7-quart ones off of eBay. Now, you guys will find that other retailers have them as well, but I myself cannot. If I order something like a crock pot, like a cooking situation that also has metal in it off of a traditional retailer, it causes a lot of problems for my people on the back end of that. Okay, so I just ordered from eBay, and I'm excited. I actually ordered one of these in green, and then I ordered a bigger one, and I ordered a crock pot to give to my neighbors. So I'm actually going to have a third extra. I ordered 3 crock pot, you guys, 3 crock pots. Because the thing is that the price is really good, and I wanted to be able to give one to my neighbor, and at the time I thought this one maybe was broken after all. But so I'm probably going to give this red one to my neighbor, and I want to show her how to cook with it so that they can actually have some good meals. Because the part of the reason why I also got a bigger one is because I like to fill it up full of potatoes and stuff like that. But I'm gonna let her see how she likes it. Maybe bring her a sack of potatoes from Jay's or something, because again, it's 50 pounds or $12 for a 50-pound sack of unclassified potatoes at Jay's Market. Okay, so even though they do have some like nicer stuff that's a little pricier, like these noodles, they do also have some really good cheap eats. So I just want to show her, because she's kind of, she's closer to my age, and I don't know how I don't actually have any concept of how she spends all of her time over there, because she's just home all day. So some people have never had anybody show them how to cook. So even though her partner, he cooks regularly and he does like stuffed peppers and all this stuff, he's busy working all day, and she's just at home. I don't know what she does all day. The fact that she just gets microwave meals. Okay, and they pay for it with like food stamps and stuff. And again, I don't like to talk down on people, but it's tough out there. So, sometimes her partner had like tried to encourage her to spend more time with me, and I don't really feel like when we hang out I'm making it very productive, because I feel like, oh well, I don't want to come across the wrong way or whatever. But at the same time, no, like, she needs to cook. Everything's getting more expensive. I've seen the price of like the decent microwave meals and stuff, and you're paying through the nose for not a whole lot of nutrition. So since I already have like a whole bunch of cheap potatoes and stuff, and I already have some on sale whole chickens and stuff that I bought, I may actually bring her the bigger one that I bought because it was only $30. I don't know. I'm just going to be having some extra crock pots, y'all. But I want to just show her. Maybe I'll cut the chicken in half so she can do half of the chicken in here. But they have a lot of people that they're feeding because they have a multi-generational household over there. They were pretty lucky. They bought their house as a foreclosure quite a number of years ago for about under $18,000, and it's like on an acre or so. But yeah, for people who are too intimidated to cook on the stove, the crock pot is the way to go because you just cut up some vegetables, you just stick some meat on there, and you just stick some like water or broth or something in there to keep it from burning to the bottom of the pot, and you just turn it on for some hours and you have an amazing meal that's like ready for you. So whether you're just too intimidated to cook at home, okay, or whether you're a busy person who works outside the house all day, or at your house but you're busy running a farmstead or whatever, you have to have a crock pot, people. Okay, some people don't have these, and I just don't understand how that's a thing, because I grew up with one of these in the house, and even my mom, who's a great cook, she used to make roast beefs in these and all sorts of stuff. So you got to get one of these. They're very inexpensive. Some of them can be pricier, but they had 7-quart ones that are just like this without the fancy programming dial. Okay, it was $30 off of eBay. So I bought one of those. Okay, and again, the crock pots that I've had in the past have worked for many, many, many years. I mean, this one I was confused, but the fact that the outlet doesn't work, it now makes sense. Okay, so this video is going to be longer than I was saying. Now, if you're somebody who is a prepper and you want to be ready for, a severe outages from a storm or the zombie apocalypse or whatever, okay, your grid's not going to be working. This is not what you need for that situation. Okay, you should still have one of these for making sure you're eating good, healthy, home-cooked foods, okay, for cheap. But what you really need that I don't even have yet, aside from my pressure canner, which is ginormous, okay, is you need a stovetop pressure canner that you can use on top of a rocket stove or an alternate heat source, like a little camping stove that works off of propane. Okay, you have to get a stovetop pressure cooker, okay? And it really cuts down the cook time, so you're actually saving a lot of energy by cooking on one of those. Okay, so even if I had like a major outage, I do need to buy one. I mean, I justify the fact that I haven't bought a smaller one because I do have my pressure canner that I can actually use to cook food in as well. Okay, but it's huge. So I want 2 on-stove pressure cookers at some point. One that is small enough for me to just make an individual meal, okay, with maybe like a couple chicken thighs and some rice and some vegetables thrown in there, but then also enough to make like bulk stuff for, but not quite as big as my big pressure canner. I'm kind of babbling a little bit, but anyways, for those of you who are like, but the zombie apocalypse, okay, this is not what you need. You need the stovetop pressure canner that you can use on top of just a wood fire outside or a rocket stove outside or a propane cooker, okay? Having an electric pressure cooker is also great because, you just plug it in, you set the time, you forget it. They have these that are programmable where you can be like, okay, 2 hours, 4 hours, on high, on low, blah, 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 okay? But these are just, look, you just turn it on, you remember. If you're going to be gone all day, you just cook the stuff on low. If you're going to be gone for like a full work shift and it's not going to be too burnt, just make sure there's enough liquid in there, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with crock pots and like what they're offering these days, what I would recommend that you do is actually go to their primary website and look at their offerings, because these days, they even have little mini crock pots that you can bring to work to heat up a meal in. If you work someplace that maybe doesn't have like a kitchen facility, but it has an electric outlet, okay, you can actually have a mini crock pot for work and just really cool stuff. They have other smaller ones that are just like sauce heaters, etc. So for those of you who throw down big Thanksgiving meals at your house, and I myself don't have a big family, but when I was married and I was cooking the Thanksgiving, my house is kind of in the middle point between some of the different households of my ex-husband. So we would throw down Thanksgiving at my house, and I would be having to cook for tons of people. And, you know, when you have a situation where you're doing those kinds of meals, or you're just bringing something, let's say you are bringing something to a potluck, they also have these that are carry and goes, okay, that they have clamping lids. You could just stick the whole thing in the car, okay, keep it heated up at the event, and then you just take out the thing and you put it onto like a whatever protected surface, protected from the heat, and it's just a serving container as well, okay. So these things are great. I'm not upset about the fact that I have multiples of them coming in, because again, if you're somebody who throws down a really big like family get together or things like that, having multiples of these when people are eating like throughout the day, if that makes sense, you know, can be really nice instead of having those server platter things that have the little butane lights on the bottom. Okay, I'm a fan of this, and I'm going on for too long, but this is my crock pot advertisement. I really love this because even when I was working all day, I could still have roast beef ready, you know, roast beef with potatoes and carrots and celery and onion and all this stuff. But if you want to be able to fit tons of potatoes and stuff for leftovers or to freeze, you need one of the bigger ones. This is one of the slightly smaller ones. Okay, I think maybe this is one of the 4.5 quart ones. But anyways, I'm excited. You know, for some reason, I thought that they would be pricier, because I've thought about trying to get one of these for my neighbor before, but the one that I got that is 4.5 quarts, and I'm not really sure what size this is. Maybe this is a 6-quart one, but the one that I got online that was 4.5 quarts was, it was $18 with free shipping and then like $1 tax. So it was about $20. Okay. So the way I see it is people talk about, oh, the zombie apocalypse, but when you're taking care of your neighbors, they can become your partners and your collaborators and your workers in weathering the storm, you know, instead of just people who are going to come steal all your shit. Okay. So when I try to build some rapport with some of my neighbors, some of them is just because they're good people. Some of my neighbors, the reason why they bring me free things is because they see that I'm a very enterprising person. And some of them also want to have that collaborative relationship through hard times. Because again, although some people are like, oh, hard times are coming, for some people, hard times have always been here. You know, so even though I don't want to come down too much on my neighbor who kind of deals with pretty severe impoverishment her entire life, you know, nobody ever taught her how to cook. Okay, so there is a failing there that has extended throughout her life. Now, she is in a place now where she does actually have like a fancy cell phone and internet service. So you'd be to think that she could maybe try to learn how to do these things. But some people feel very intimidated by cooking. Some people who did not grow up in a house where people cooked and they were never taught how to cook, etc., they feel very intimidated by it. So again, if you don't have one of these, you know, try to get one. But also if you know somebody who is maybe not eating right and feels intimidated to cook, maybe give them some encouragement, and this might be a good gift, but then also sit down and just make a meal with them, right? And have it prepped and then turned on so that they can just have it for dinner later and they see, oh, this is easy. I can handle this. Okay. And then they're going to taste that chicken, that slow cooked chicken or whatever, and with the potatoes or whatever that comes out of there. And they're just going to love it. Okay. And they're going to know, well, this is way better than the shit that I buy that I microwave in the box. Okay. So again, this is going to be great for me because even though I'm not going to be eating this kind of food every day, I do want to be able to have some quick meals packed away in the freezer in some like short little Tupperwares. Okay. So even if you're a single person, okay, you can still cook some big stuff and set it back in the freezer for yourself, etc. Okay, take it easy, y'all.